Hey everybody, thanks for stopping back in at the Red Barn. If you're new to the channel and aren't quite sure what we're up to here, what we've got is a 1972 Porsche 914 into which we are swapping a Ferrari 360 engine and gated manual 6-speed transaxle. In this episode, I got to finish up the coolant system, at least as much as I can. And then as I was working on that, I realized I have more to do before I get to try to start this than I thought. So I'm going to start in on a couple of other little things, but we're getting there. We're making some really good progress. So great time to remind you, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And let's get going on this. Enjoy. So let's get going on these hard lines for the frunk area. And here I've just got fitment of the first one, and I'm going to do this slightly differently. What I'm doing that's different this time is this is just coming out and doing a straight 90 and going around up the hill, and I still have to fab this piece. I'm just using a cheater tube here to get the distance for that cut. But if you look at the LS car, it got all complicated here because I guess, I can't remember exactly, but I think I just wanted to try to tuck this under. And when you do the math, it doesn't really save me but like, you know, a quarter of an inch, half an inch. And so that whole kick up on the hot water line, I'm just gonna cut it, not gonna do it. I'm just gonna come right out of here and go 90, and that means this line is gonna sit just a little bit farther outboard here. So right now, I'm just working this distance. These are butted. I just made that cut, and I'm just trying to be sure that I've got the gap angle and the straight up to here that I want while preserving the angle I want here. And I think I've about got it. So I'm ready to mark alignment on that and get it welded. And then I'll work out exactly what I need to get this connection made. And I'll have one rubber tube here, and that's all we'll see down through the pass-through panel. So let's get going on that. Well, after about a half a day of fixturing, finagling, and fitting, this is what we've got. Tried to keep them parallel and tried to keep them level to one another, and it turned out pretty well. So this is just the final last fit with the outlets reclocked and just tacked on, and one more final weld needed around that joint, and this will be wrapped up. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It's pretty tidy. Yeah, it sticks out a teeny bit more, but I really like the symmetric kind of look that I got. Now, one thing that somebody might be thinking ahead about, and I am, and that is I'm not going to vent the hood like I did on the LS car, right? That still has full inner fenders. So this is going to be vented out the inner fenders, and that's what some of these shapes are that I'm playing with. And normally there's a grill that gets put on there to keep massive crap from coming in. And so, yeah, I got to just make sure that these lines are protected from anything that might get kicked up into them. But I really don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. So I just have to pull everything out now, final weld it, and the front lines will be done. And then after that, we are all done with the front hard lines. And again, happy with how they turned out. This is all fully welded, clamped on with the fabulous Norma hose clamps. Don't cheap out, get good hose clamps. These are Norma's, factory Porsche stuff. So yeah, don't cheap out on those. Anyway, I hit it with the Scotch-Brite, just to try to tidy it up. There's a few scratches on here. I might have them powder coated or anodized. I don't know, I might do nothing. But yeah, no, they're kind of shiny, and I really like them. I think that turned out quite nicely. And I still have, I still have room if I do an electric AC compressor. The battery's going to be in the back. But if at some point I decided I wanted to move weight forward, I could get a small battery in here as well. Plenty of room. And it's interesting. I even am considering, it's got the ventilated floor, the louvered floor for the oil cooler that was going to go in here. And I could almost, make a shield here that really wouldn't affect the radiator. And I could, I might be able to even hide and protect some stuff down there. Not that I have a plan to, but anyway, so Cooling system, just got to get the rubber lines attached to the car, and we are done. And if we come back to the back of the car, the next step is going to be that I don't need the engine in the car anymore. I've got most of the mock-up stuff done. You can see I've got the vacuum lines. I'll make some kind of little bracket to tidy this routing up and kind of hold them in place, you know, kind of like that. And so that'll be nice and sanitary. But those are all run up and plugged into the vacuum ports, you know, to get vacuum into the vacuum canister. I have to abbreviate these two fittings because those are no longer needed. These are the one-way check valves to hold vacuum in here. And, you know, these are all hooked up. They're not hooked up to everything because obviously the manifold's not on here. So the flappers aren't ready to go. And what else? Oh, this line got done, right? So my coolant fill line, you can see going into the port right in the S-bend down there. So this can come out. Drivetrain can come out, and I can go to work on the battery box. And then the other thing I've got to finish, I think I'll do this before I get the car started, is I got to plate over this stuff and then reinforce from here back to here. So this whole thing's got to get boxed and finish up this whole section of the car. You know, obviously same thing on that side. So next steps, drivetrain comes out. That allows me to do the service on it. Clutch rebuild. I know I'm repeating myself, but just trying to keep myself, you know, reminding myself what I got to do. And then while that's happening, I think I can finish up the chassis work. And then this thing goes back in. And yeah, I got to get just a bare little bit of the interior wiring done. So I got an ignition switch. And that's it. And we are ready to try to start this thing. So I'm going to say, I don't know, in a month. So just a few more episodes. So let's get this drivetrain out. Well, it's the little things. Like, I need a gas pedal. Yeah, drive-by-wire. So I got to have this hooked up too. And this is a Corvette gas pedal. GM drive-by-wire, and it's the same thing I run in the LS car, so proven to work, all that good stuff. And now it's just been, I've been screwing around with where it goes, and I'm gonna do, you know, the nice thing about having done this already on the LS car is it's the same. So I just have marked, and now I get to drill, whoops, for a fastener right there. Now to work all that stuff out. And then a few minutes later, with a couple of holes drilled and some fasteners in there, that pedal is installed. And yes, I have chopped off the bottom of it because what happens is, just like in the LS car, it's so nice to have this thing here because I can go, hey look, here's how it works. There's the abbreviated pedal, and I now have to make that little Heim joint connector rod turnbuckle, right? So I have to be able to spin that rod and adjust it in and out so I can position the throttle pedal where I want it relative to all the other pedals. So this is what we're going to have in the Ferrari car. It's exactly the same setup, same pedal assembly and all that good stuff. And you can see I can play with different lever ratios. So, you know, put it up here, not much movement, gets me a lot of pedal. Way down here, not much movement, gets me not much pedal. So that's going to all be determined once the thing gets running and I understand what the, you know, what the throttle position or the throttle sensitivity is. And that's why I haven't fully chopped that lever arm off, because I can drill a series of holes up that lever arm, and between that set of holes and the set of holes that are on the pedal, I can tune the throttle response to be exactly what I want. Plus, then you can program how the throttle's open. So there's all kinds of adjustability. Shouldn't be a problem at all. But, you know, got to happen. But we're getting there. But despite my best efforts, that was all I was able to accomplish this week. So not as much progress I was hoping, but good progress. So coolant system nearly done. Some progress in the interior with the gas pedal. I got to get some more wiring done in here, ignition switch and things like that. But we're dangerously close to getting this thing started after and I promise I'll pull the drivetrain out. I'll get the engine service done. I'll get the fab work done in here, and we're getting there. We're getting close. We're getting really close. And as always, I appreciate you guys sticking with me and watching. Please leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll talk to everybody again real soon. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.